National Rescue Movement, as the name connotes, is really about people, the rescue of society. And the objective and the values stem around the understanding that power is given for the purpose of serving God and man. And our interest really is, the goal is to deliver happiness. We want to deliver happiness to society. And we intend to do that through the avenue and the agency of what we describe as the EASY agenda, which stands for employment, enterprises, social services, and infrastructure. So EASY. Our view is that you cannot have a modern society where people are left behind. And our intention is to ensure that the welfare of the people is paramount, and everything that is done to deliver to everybody, every member of the society. And that's our aim, that's our goal. I describe myself as a nation builder and somebody who understands that the Nigerian political system is broken. And in choosing a deputy, it was very, very important and crucial that we were looking for someone who was not a traditional politician, somebody who could subscribe to the philosophy of societism, which really we believe that we must look after the whole range of our society. And so we picked Mrs. Azizat Dabiri Adeomi, who is an educationist and somebody who definitely is working with young minds and to really help us turn this society around. She is an administrator, and to that extent, we will work together as a fine team. I am someone who, in the various activities that I've done, I know how to pick professionals who are highly motivated and who are able to be team players, who can work and encourage and inspire others. So you will see this once we have the opportunity to lead the administration of this state. I did say earlier that our system is broken, and to a large extent, the politics is broken. Whatever you're experiencing in governance is what happens right from the political layer. And to my mind, we as a society have lost our ethical direction and our moral compass. And you can see it seeping through these things that you have mentioned. The laws are there. There's no law that you're looking for in terms of dealing with these issues that are not there. So as a government, we will be coming in to set an ethical direction to say, look, listen, as a people, we need to re-inspire and reorientate ourselves so that we know that if we carry on the way we're going, we are going to destroy ourselves. To the extent that things happen in a school and somebody looks the other way, or the thing is gone to court and then the judge looks the other way, these are things that are haunting our society. And I think we all owe it a duty to ourselves and to Almighty God to really say, let's turn around. We have to turn this society around, because where we're going, we're heading for the precipice. So at the end of the day, it's going to be this ethical dimension. We need an ethical change. And then we will enforce, through that ethical direction, we will enforce everything that is meant to be enforced. And I think if the leader, if the administration sets the tone, everybody is going to follow. If we talk to our judges and we let them know that, look, listen, we want you to do your job. Whatever it is that is preventing you from doing your job, we will enable you to do it, and to do that job in such a way that we can all be proud of. I think we will start seeing a turnaround. Part of the problems that we have are also man-made. And this comes back to this issue that somebody said, if we don't kill corruption, corruption will kill us. And we are facing the edge of the precipice at the rate in which we're going. You have town planning authorities that are not doing their job, that as far as they're concerned, once they get some real good payoff, then anything goes. You have, as was alluded to, people are building where they shouldn't build. Roads have to even veer away from the original plans, from the master plan. So we are in a mess, and it is going to take an ethical government to come in and really bring in some consultants that are going to look at this thing very, very objectively and tell us how are we going to build these drainages. Because you have a city that's already built. How are you going to get drainages, sorted out? The best way, the quickest way. And in addition to all of that, you have the unhygienic conditions of people throwing waste anywhere. So things are really building up. And unless we really do take some urgent steps, we are going to be in very, very serious problems. You have people pouring sand, building islands where they shouldn't build. Suddenly you look up and an island has surfaced that they say belongs to an individual. So we've got to really take care and look at ourselves. We often vilify the 1999 Constitution, but there are parts of that Constitution that really we need to hold very, very tight. One of which is it's enshrined in the Constitution, the local government rules, the roles of local government, which are really basic education, adult education, vocational training, the marketplaces, the advertorials, roads, all the very, very important things that affect you and me are within the purview of the local government. So we as a people need to let the guys that are stopping us from really, really getting our local governments doing what they should, we as a people need to rise up and understand our rights. If people don't really care about their rights, if you don't know who your local government chairman is, if you don't know who your councillor is, they're going to get away with blue murder. You mentioned 300 million, and that's an amazing number, which means that the local government is getting this money in, and they're not deploying it to what they should be. You're having potholes in the roads, you're having classrooms crumbling, you don't have things in the classroom, you don't have basic health, and these are all responsibilities of our local governments. So I hope that if you take nothing away today, that you at least take this issue, and tomorrow we all should go and start asking our local governments, what have they been doing with their money? I'll take us to the point about philosophy of what we want to do for our people and for ourselves. The UK today is talking in this leveling up initiative. What they're doing is that they're looking at the whole of the UK, and they're looking at places where these places are really downtrodden, because everybody needs to, come up so that society, if we take that view that we really want our people to be happy, it will inform what we're doing. So what we will do is that we will try and kill so many birds with one stone. And if you look at the rate at which people are homeless, and you look at the young people that are working and cannot afford their own homes, we will ensure that we have low-cost housing that has the principle of habitat. With habitat, you can use sweat equity as part of your own input into that building, and it will be considered for you. We will also look at farm settlements and, spread out to places like Badagry, Ekbe, Ikorodu, and have mixed dwellings there, so that at the end of the day, you have people, you have employment, and you have shelter, all coming up together as one. If we want to really, truly help our people, if the purpose of government is people's welfare, this is an area that I probably have some comparative advantage. Owning a farm and actually that really, in truth, this is one area that I think the Lagos government really has just left on the side, that being a place where we could really, really ramp up. You even have some fishery schools and whatever around that are willing to really help people to understand this. We can get urban farms going. You don't need a lot of space to really get a massive volume of fish. In a room this size, you could get real serious tonnage of fish, and then you can really keep rotating and generating and harvesting fish continually throughout the year. It is certainly something that we need to take very, very seriously in a Kickstart program, where you will have businesses that are just set up just as fisheries. Government will give them the grants, will give them the equipment, and will ensure that there is a market linkage. You know, when I was younger, we used to have Duro Ladipo and Herbert Ogunde. And they used to go around, and theater was very, very big. I have actually staged some plays at the National Theater, the Ajakba Children's Plays. And we have a tradition of real entertainment and enjoyment. I can remember that a lot of these things started to recede when we had the incidents of armed robbery and all that kind of stuff. So people, you know, started going away, and these things never really came back after these greats died, Babasala and all of these. So we will encourage these back. We will build these theaters out. We will provide what I would call the kickstart, and we will help smaller groups to come together as cooperatives, and they will begin to set all these things up. When I was younger too, we used to go to the zoo in Lagos. We will bring back the zoo idea. We'll put that zoo near places like Ekpe and really, really help that and bring in agro-tourism where people can go to farms. You know, a lot of people like this beauty treatment spa. We'll encourage these things and build these kind of centers out in the agricultural area. And the other thing we will do is we will use transport as a means of tourism. So if you go to some countries abroad, you think about, apart from debt, Lagos also gets grants. It's amazing that, you know, if you don't have good financial stewardship, what you then tend to do is, look, you just go borrow because you can. But when you really these things down line by line, if you're looking even at the audited accounts of Lagos State, you will be surprised to see that there's some line items, and you wonder what the Vehicle Licensing Authority is doing with billions of naira. So at the end of the day, you also look at the rate at which they are performing, the performance of the budget. Sometimes it's 60%, 70% performance, and then you're having all this borrowing, and you can't even implement what you're borrowing the money for. So there's a lot of distortion that's going on, which we will need to then look at. But overall, in order for us to manage the debt, of course, we're going to have to raise revenue, significantly raise revenue. There is an opportunity when you look at the level of poverty that's in the state. China was able to raise hundreds of millions of people out of poverty by really going down and creating and establishing cottage industries. So we will do that so that we grow the revenue massively, like 3x, 4x. My working experience, I've discovered that you can have all the great ideas that you want. If those who are going to implement with you are not taking ownership, then it's just going to be pipe dreams. So what I would do is I would definitely engage the civil service. We would have to have like a conference. And in that conference, I will be appealing to the civil service persons that we need to work together. And I need to find a way of inspiring them. And based on whatever the protocols are, hear their problems, show them the manifesto, because before then I wouldn't have had the opportunity to show them the manifesto, let them critique it, let them take ownership, tell me what their problems are. We will resolve whatever those problems are, and then we'll get to work. And you've heard some very exciting things. The decision you have to make is, can we do it? Can you count on this individual? And certainly you can count on an Akin Braithwaite-led government because of my track record. I have demonstrated the ability to be able to assemble highly motivated, professional young people who get the job done. When I was the general manager at Celtel, now Airtel, I was responsible for rolling out telecoms infrastructure in Oyo, Ogun, Osun, Ondo, and Ekiti, as well as Kwara State. Being accountable for over 85 billion naira and ensuring that there was real financial accountability, building access roads, telecom infrastructure, corporate social responsibility to the communities out there. When I moved into MTN Nigeria as a customer relations executive, I also assembled a group of young, highly motivated people who got the job done. I sat on an executive that managed a budget that was at par with Lagos State budget. We got the job done. I rolled out service points all across Nigeria, hired thousands of people, gave jobs to people. I have done it. I'm not just talking about something that I would like to do, but these are things that have been done.